Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
Was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yells, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now, a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Ew, it's going to play again. Oh, no. Oh, no.
No, I unlooped it.
Oh, somebody paid attention.
We got to get Ian to update that song, because in the song he says he was a Louisiana man named Montaldo.
Yeah.
He still is a Louisiana man. See, the thing is, you can take the man out of Louisiana, but you cannot take the Louisiana out of the man. Try as you might. That's a losing fight. And there's a lyric for you.
Well, next time I see him online every once in a while. And I'll have to ask him next time I see him. I know he listens in every once in a while, because I.
You should change it to he's the Louisiana man named Montaldo.
They can turn it into a redneck. Welcome everyone to UFO Undercover. I hope y'all are having a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on our big beautiful blue planet. We're going to be talking about several things tonight. We may have some abduction videos for you. Maybe we'll see.
Oh, cool. Speaking of which,
pictures, huh?
Take that down really quick. Let's show the audience what we came up with this evening.
Okay.
And Kurlik. Here we go. The generation gap.
There y'all go. 3-4 generations of contactees right there, or abductees.
Although it shouldn't say sci-fi, it should say science fact down there. But I didn't quibble. You can't really keep these things so much. It kind of just does it on its own.
Jimmy, where you at? No, we do have Pal Talk now. I don't have it open, but we do have it. Oh, excuse me, guys. Yeah, I've been having indigestion all day. No, we're playing videos tonight, so I'm going to leave it closed. If I was on the other computer, I'd open it up. I'm ordering a stick of RAM. If anybody wants to love me, you can send me some RAM for my Dell 3880 Inspiron. I think
that would be random access memory, folks.
Yes, I think one stick's like $50 or $60, $40 to $60. It's I can update this. What's that, Janine? No, I got a rule about taking money out of my pocket and spending it on the station. Yes.
He
I've
used to
got
do
way
that,
too,
and then
yeah.
the boss got wind of it, and boy, did he catch hell for it.
If y'all knew how much I spend on the station, y'all would be like, wow, you could retire on what I spent on this damn thing. Oh no, it's in the black barely. Well, because we keep adding stuff, like we're adding all this new television. Sometimes in May it'll all be available. I can't give you a date because we're still in negotiation. Because every time we negotiate a deal, another company comes up with a better deal. So this has been dragging on for 4 months now. And then this company the other day came in and offered us everything that these other people offered for less, and said they could replace StreamYard with their own service. So everything would be under one roof.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, and also on top of that, we've gotten accommodations for several shows on the network from NBC.
Yes.
And with their suggestions and with our going back to format some of the shows that were once formatted, we may even get some much more garnered viewership, particularly in the U.S. So that's a good thing.
Yes, more U.S. the better, because we make more money off U.S. listeners than overseas.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Well, it's just easy to sell advertising. Well, if it's an international company like Coca-Cola or Chevrolet or Ford or Mercedes or someone like that, but getting ads with those kind of advertisers is hard.
But yeah, I mean, do the math. If you're in America, you'd expect to do better advertising with Americans. If you're in Europe, you would do better with Europeans than you would with, say, Asians or South Americans. So, I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Jitty Lee, our because of the way the station started out, our overseas audience is larger than our U.S. audience, quite a bit larger too.
Thank God when the internet first came out, people were bored and there was only a few things on there. When the internet first came out, 96-ish, 97-ish, everybody was getting on there. The top 3 searched for sites were, in order from 1 to 3, pornography, UFOs, and then right after that, conspiracy theories.
I know, huh?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what
it was. No, Jesse, it was that was, and it still is that order. It's still,
well, it fluctuates, but it's still in that. I mean, with the Trump's mandate to get rid of the files and bring that to the public, it's definitely gotten more popular.
No, porn's first, Jesse. Yeah. And
well, let's see what Google says. Hey Google, what are the top 3 search websites and web topics on the internet?
Yeah, topic might be a better thing.
The top 3 most visited websites globally are Google, YouTube, and Facebook.
Hey,
I knew she was going to do that.
What are the top 3 most searched for topics on the internet?
Globally, the most searched topics includes.
Really? That's fascinating. She cut us off.
No, because she don't want to talk about it. So let's see. What is this you sent me, Jeffrey?
Is Jeffrey Pritchard watching?
Hey, no, Jeff. This is Jeffrey Munchkin. I always call him Munchkin, but it's like Munchkin. It's a German name. So he sent me this 1960 concept of ARPANET developed by U.S. Department of Defense. That's the first internet, people. Followed in 69 by an updated version of that, which was operational packet switching network. 71 was the first email sent by Ray Tomlinson, marking the beginning of electronic.
That's the first official, public version. But the first email was actually sent in 57 on the ARPANET.
That wasn't email then, because it wasn't the internet.
It's what would be eventually.
So they're only talking about only what we consider official internet today.
Well,
and
yes,
everything before 71 isn't.
Yeah, no. Phone modem, but it's what we still use as email today.
The email we use today is a little bit different. It's actually
updated, but
as we started out with I forgot the platform, and they did away with, because when they went to NT4, it was no longer compatible, which was Windows 10, I believe. I could be off by a little bit. Those those get a little confusion up in there. But no, Jeffrey, what happens is it's like I got a really nice 8-core computer sitting next to me. I still use it. It's a great computer, but because the chip was made in like 2007 or something or 5, it's not compatible with Windows 11. Running Windows 10, but it's not compatible with Windows 11. So that computer with everything in it, I could probably still get a couple of grand for right now. It's ungodly fast. It's running 4.4 gigahertz with 128 gigs of RAM, 11 terabytes of memory, and an 8-core processor. And it's on a gig connection. It's smoking fast. And somebody said, well, you're going to have to get rid of it because of security. I said, I'll put my own damn security on there. And the hell with it until it's not compatible with software, which will take it a little while because you can still go back and I've got I forgot who makes it. I have to go get it out to see, but it's got a 5.25-inch floppy drive on it.
Oh god, IBM maybe.
It's got a what we used to call a barefoot hard drive, which is the length of the bottom of the case. Yes, people, it's longer than my foot. I'm not kidding you. And it was a half a terabyte. It wasn't even that. It was like 383 megs or some shit. Oh yeah. And it had some weird operating system on it, which I updated to Windows 3.0. The first Windows, technically the first Windows. Wasn't actually the first Windows, but it was the first. It was the Windows that allowed the internet to become a real thing. That's when people started realizing they could use their computer and enjoy it. When Windows SE came out, oh my God, there was a revolution. Windows 2nd Edition was probably one of the best programs ever built. It was just, it ran fabulously. It didn't get the blue screen of death. It made it really easy to surf the web. People were in love. But even then, you were only running 2 and 3 gig processors with 4 and 6 gigs of RAM. And we was thinking that was a lot. Jenny, you're talking about RAM bus, which is RAM, but it's a different kind of setup.
It's more of an external kind of thing that you plug in.
Well, no, they have it built into the computers, but RAM bus. So on a regular computer, if you got 8 gigs, you got to have 8 gigs. If you're going to run dual things, they can't be mixed and matched. They have to be 8 and 8 or 16 and 16 or whatever. RAM bus, you can have an 8 and a 4, an 8 and a 3. Matter of fact, Dell's got some weird computers out there that are 5 and 7 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I stumbled across one by accident. Actually, I think it had 9 gigs. It was like, what the is this? And then a friend of mine they start with an L, Lavitron, or what the hell they call them? Anyway, she had another one that had staggered memory like that. It's like, what? See, I didn't even like the idea because it made me have to think about something other than what I was thinking about. What do you mean know about them? Oh, dude, I built a lot of computers. Matter of fact, every computer in this room except for one I built myself. Yeah. And the last one was just because I needed a computer and I didn't have time to build one. That one's a 36 core, liquid cool 36 core. It's got 512 gigs of RAM and 5, 10, 15, 18 terabytes of memory. Wow. And it's got a video card with 64 gigabyte RAM card on it. So yeah, it's got a great audio too. You can go 8K, you can broadcast it in 8K. It's just, we don't need anything. I use that computer because it can handle a lot of stuff. So in the old days, it would have took 10 computers to run what that one computer can run, or at least 7. Because at any given time.
Segue, since we're talking about teraquads of memory, in any of that memory, do you got any abduction videos we can look at?
What's an abduction video?
I don't know. Some guy sent you some, I think.
Okay, Jimmy. Oh wait, I never did tell y'all. The introduction to the World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee, making the internet accessible to the public in 1991. 1991 is when it was introduced. 93 is when they launched the first graphic web browser, Mosaic, which popularized web browsing. So technically, people 93. 91, you still have to do it old school. So anything before 91 or you had to do old school. So if you wanted to go somewhere on the web, you had to type like a paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would take you there. Now you can type in, whatever.com and boom, there you are. Oh no, man. Anything on the web wasn't just places, anything.
When was it? The 80s? They came up with the URL, the Universal Resource Locator, which is like the .com names.
.coms are a ripoff, people. You never own them. Yeah, they always tell you own them. I pay $1,000, almost $2,000 a year in domain rentals. Yeah, because I don't own them. I have to pay for them every year. If I don't pay for them, I lose them. And they don't even give you but like 10 days and they take them, man. You could have that damn thing for 20 years. It's unfortunate. But anyway, getting back to the original topic. Anything you really want to know about the webs on it, there are some things you can argue about on the web if you really wanted to. But really and truly, it started out as what it started out as a way for the United States military to send things around quickly and covertly. And remember,
and securely, yes.
And securely.
Stuff, yeah.
So, and then they invented the T1, T2, and T3 lines, which T1 was for basic business.
Hey, Heidi.
T2 was generally for colleges, and T3 was generally for military. And let me tell you what, T3 was smoking for the day, but in today's standard, it is snail slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is snail slow compared to what we run today. I remember when I got my first T3, I was happy.
T3 is compared to the next lowest thing to it was phone modem, which was very loud and noisy. And our fiber optics are what T3 is now, and T3 is what phone modem was to us back in the day.
It was hold on, Jimmy, I'll get you an exact speed. Give me a second. Or maybe I won't. No, so stupid thing. It's telling me something about how to regulate your body system. That was too much. No, Jack. T3 probably has a lot of meaning, like the TR3B. Yeah. See, like here I typed in how fast is T3 internet? Right. Should be pretty straightforward question, right? It gives me T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Fastest fiber internet.
Nobody's using it anymore.
This thing is like lost, man. Like, what the hell is a T3 line? I don't know, Jimmy. It should pick it right up. If I was on Alexa would probably know what it was.
They were basically satellite connections, though, weren't they? So they were also affected by sometimes weather and
the bad part with T3 is the whatchamacallit time, the I forgot what you call it now, millisecond. So if I send a ping to New York and back, say like Yahoo, milliseconds are going to be 45 to 55 milliseconds. But back then you were seeing 200, 300, 400 milliseconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're waiting on something to open, it feels like forever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. They see you're getting confused with processors. Processors are different. T3 was a line, not a process. Well, there probably was a T3 processor too. I don't want to say there wasn't because I'm pretty sure Xeon made some type of T3 processor. What do you mean? The aliens gave us internet so we could surf faster for them? Is that why?
No, so they could talk without satellites. Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'll find out for you though. No, it's aggravating me now because it should have came right up. It's just a number. It keeps wanting to do comparisons between T3 and T2, and I'm like, why? And then it wants to flop you over here, trying to say that the T is processor cores. Yeah. See, there goes Intel Xeon. I knew it. 3.3 gigahertz. T3 is a Intel Xeon scalable processor. Xeon process, dude. Xeon processors are beast. I don't know who told you that. Xeon's probably the best processor you can get. Them son of a bitches are like super fire. Maria, so when you're buying a processor, think of it this way. If you're going to be crunching numbers, just pure out number crunching, get an AMD processor. If you're doing media and lots of media, get an Intel. Intel just handles media better. And they have their reasons why they do what they do. Because originally AMD was designed to be a number cruncher. That's what it was designed to be. It was made for things like AutoCAD and stuff like that, serious programs. But today, the way programs are written and the way computers work are much different, so you don't need all of that. Oh, I didn't even see Tim. Hey, Tim. Hey, Heidi. Didn't even see y'all in here. Nah, we're gonna pop up some of this. We got something just waiting to bring up in a second. What do you mean? My favorite thing about computers is this computer I'm on right now is pretty fast, but it's not like the other three over there. They're all real-time computers, meaning their processor speeds and their internet speeds all happen in real time. There's no lag or anything like that. No, it's ungodly smoking fast. Oh yeah. Jimmy Lee, aliens are not real. They're demons and demonic possession. Well, you know who else thinks that? J.D. Vance said that.
Yeah, he's one of them. And a couple senators, I think, too.
Man, that was a big disappointment in Vance's thing. I guess when he sees the alien for the first time, he's going to crap himself. Well, he better hope they ain't demons, because I'm sure they visit with the people at the White House. What do you think that new fancy ballroom's for? So the aliens could be downstairs hanging out. Yeah, that's what it's for. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see what this is. Well, I don't even know what we got on here, so let's find out. It's 9 minutes, so we'll be in and out of this video, I'm sure.
Hit the big button there.
Ken Dolly Parton was awesome. I don't care about Dolly Parton. What the hell?
Yeah, what happened there?
It just decided to go wherever it decided to want to go. See, that's why I don't like using this computer anymore. That's why it needs another. See, look, it goes to Dolly. We weren't even nowhere around Dolly. Nothing to do with Dolly.
She's not relevant right now.
Yeah, Dolly. I know you're sick, baby, and you're probably going to pass on us, but there's nothing else ugly.
Oh, there we go.
He got word of some mummies in Peru that didn't look human.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 UFO and alien hoaxes.
I just don't believe them, no.
But their best evidence is less than convincing.
And who knows? Maybe one day someone will shoot a video of an actual alien coming down.
Don't look like
it. Hopefully it'll be better than the ones we're seeing now.
For this list, we'll be looking at infamous alien or UFO encounters that have since been thoroughly, if disappointingly, debunked. Do you have a favorite alien encounter story? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, crop circles. A term coined in the 1980s, crop circles were long held as proof of aliens visiting our planet.
In the 1890s or 18s, they were
extraterrestrial
demon circles.
There are lots of theories about aquifers, these underground water systems that carry forces of energy. There are theories of portals to other dimensions within the Earth.
These geometric patterns appear in large fields with no apparent trace of where they came from. Or at least they did, until the hoaxers came out to take credit for their handiwork.
Yeah.
In 1991,
two octogenarians cannot view the entire planet in an evening.
Created many of these crop circles using simple tools. Just rope, a plank, and a baseball cap with a loop of wire.
We wanted to make the UFO society think that a UFO had landed, you see.
A UFO landed, man.
After a few years, they didn't know whether to believe it or not.
Since then, crop circles have come to be considered more of a fringe form of art.
A very famous case that's a hoax.
So the idea is that perhaps some of these crop circles indeed are messages from elsewhere. And elsewhere, in my opinion, means of extraterrestrial origin.
They may look cool from above.
Of course, you pick up a rock in Arizona and says it's alien.
Number 9, the London Mothership and Fleet. In June of 2011, video footage was released showing bright objects flying over London. As usual, some believers were quick to jump on the bandwagon and claim these to be genuine UFOs. Why? Well, because it's on the internet, we guess. However, the footage isn't dated and was uploaded anonymously. Furthermore, as experts have pointed out, the blobs or crafts are so small and blurry that they'd be incredibly easy to fake even with rudimentary knowledge of VFX. There's no additional footage of them either.
People are inherently pranksters and hoaxers and storytellers, and I think that there will always be people who will enjoy, playing a prank and making a video like this.
It's just because you think it is doesn't mean
Jerusalem Lights. 2011 sure was a good year for dubious UFO sightings. In February, video footage of a purported UFO over Jerusalem went viral. Much like our previous entry, there's not much in the way of detail. The dot of light could easily be faked with computer software. According to a report from the HuffPost,
30 or 40 different cell phone cameras captured this
is that nothing
from several different angles
during the entire video. It's theorized that it was actually made using a still photo with animation drawn on top of it. The Bad UFOs blog also analyzed the video and highlighted several elements giving it away. Number 7, UFOs over India. In 2016, this viral photo caused a stir on social media.
That's
The image secretly depicted a giant flying saucer hovering over the state of Uttar Pradesh in northern India.
I don't know what it is.
The photo had been uploaded by a mobile device.
I think what it was
really
a non-used promo
no other sightings
CGI thing for the Independence Day movies that they just never used, or as a concept photo, that kind of thing.
We're not sure what makes this less credible. The fact that it looks just like a scene from Independence Day, or that no one else seemed to recall seeing something that giant floating in the sky. Number 6, the Chile video. In 2010, an apparent UFO was caught on camera at a U.S. Air Force base in Chile. It was reportedly only seen on camera after the videographer slowed the footage down and noticed it later. However, when you watch the playback, it's nothing more than a handful of black dots that seem to appear at random. The clarity of the images is really poor, even by the low standards of UFO sightings. Furthermore, no eyewitnesses reported seeing anything other than the actual planes flying in the air. Under scrutiny, the footage in the video has been dismissed as likely being little more than minor defects in the video or even bugs in the foreground. Number 5, aliens invade Haiti. Is this video legit?
No.
I would say yeah, but they ain't in Haiti day one, so.
But at least it's more creative than most. In 2007, videos of several UFOs floating over Haiti began to appear. Many thought that these were some of the best videos of UFOs.
I remember when they came out. I called them fake as soon as I saw them.
Looking for? Sadly, no. As it turns out, the footage was created as part of some test video for a feature film the original poster had been working on. This was later backed up by film producer George Berman, who worked with the artist who had created the videos. It was just a case of Hollywood special effects accidentally tricking the public.
It took him about 17 hours to make the videos, and they are 100% fake.
Number 4, Mexico's Molder. In 2017, Mexican journalist and ufologist Jaime Maussan announced the discovery in Peru of alien mummies. Pretty exciting, right? Well, don't celebrate just yet. Maussan's first images looked incredibly contrived, to say the least. However, he participated in a documentary, Unearthing Nazca, that revealed a more realistic example, found by some guy named Mario, apparently.
When he brought it out and pulled it out of the box, it was a stunned silence at first.
Sadly, based on x-rays, experts suspect that this is an actual Peruvian mummy who'd been butchered to superficially resemble an extraterrestrial.
Oh, come on.
Maussan has made such false claims before, presenting a photographic slide of a
that itself, that was a false claim.
Why would an ancient culture fake an alien dead body?
With a website, Gaia.com, that charges a subscription fee for access to content, including about his latest mummy. Number 3, dead alien in Russia. You decide to go for a stroll through the snowy landscape of eastern Siberia. Suddenly, just below a tree trunk, you find something unusual. With camera in hand, you take a closer look and are surprised to find what looks like an alien body curled up on the ground. This is the surreal experience that 2 Russian men had in 2011, or so they wanted people to believe. After racking up millions of views on YouTube, the video began receiving more scrutiny. It's an impressive-looking hoax made from what looks like gelatin and raw chicken or some other meat. But who breaks out into laughter when they think they've just found an alien? Number 2, English spaceship landings. We have to give props to these students.
Batteries not included.
They really went out of their way to test how people would react to UFOs. In September of 1967, a series of humming metallic saucers were found in the Isle of Sheppey off the coast of England. They were so convincing that local authorities got involved. Police were reportedly fearful, but blew one up and drilled inside another. Soon after, their true origin came out. Apprentices at Farnborough's Royal Aircraft Establishment had created and distributed the objects to see how law enforcement would react. It garnered far more attention than they'd expected, but in the end, their experiment was a success.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, alien autopsy film.
Ray Santilli took out a tape, he popped it into a machine, and my mouth dropped open.
In 1995, Fox Television aired a special entitled Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction. Hosted by Jonathan Frakes of Star Trek The Next Generation fame, it was allegedly a real video of an alien from Roswell being autopsied. Watched by millions of viewers, the black and white footage became a hot topic in the UFO community. However, in 2006, the filmmaker, Ray Santilli, admitted that the video itself was a fake. However, he claimed it was a recreation of actual footage of an alien autopsy that had become unusable. Of course, the original footage has never been seen nor verified by any credible source.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
I agree that they're hoaxes. I never did like the alien autopsy thing now.
Well, and Stan Winston, who is a god in the special effects makeup division of any Hollywood production, if he's not in your production, you don't have quality makeup. And the guy who did makeup for Star Trek was good too, Michael Westmore, but on a different quality and a different level. But anyway, Stan Winston said of that video that if this was a fake video, whoever made it should be working in Hollywood, and if he came forward, I would hire him tomorrow. Those were his exact words almost.
You got people that can do it. Why not? Let's see. What is this one? First contact, be like, run like hell. That's what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it fooled several doctors, including Sarah Wecht.
What's that, Carolyn? See, I used the word or the acronym, basically. We're not supposed to use that when we're on air. Actually, when we're lecturing or anything for that matter. Well, we'll take a look at this one. Let's see.
Sightings of unidentified flying objects are more common today than ever before.
Is it on a screen, Jay?
Many people all around the world claim to have seen strange objects in the sky.
Anybody coming in?
Hello.
Hello.
They've seen or made contact with aliens. While some of these stories share similar themes and events, others are so otherworldly and specific that they give even those who don't believe something to think about. This is Unveiled, and today we're exploring the 4 most bizarre UFO claims ever recorded.
Oh, yeah, I got to.
Are you a fiend for facts? Are you constantly curious? Then why not subscribe to Unveiled for more clips like this one and ring the bell for more fascinating content?
UFOs have received renewed attention thanks to viral videos captured by the United States Navy and the release of a government report into unidentified aerial phenomenon on June 25th, 2021. But while UFO sightings only really became common in the 1940s after World War II, there have been occasional reports of strange objects in the sky throughout history. All the way back in 1440 BC, Pharaoh Thutmose III reportedly saw fiery discs over Egypt, although this translation of the original papyrus is disputed. In ancient Roman times, too, however, there were reports of phantom ships gleaming in the sky and mysterious silver objects. The Greek philosopher and historian Plutarch claimed that in 74 BC, a flame-like body shaped like a wine jar descended between 2 armies. America's first reported UFO sighting came in 1639, when John Winthrop described a great light in the sky that shot back and forth, quote, as swift as an arrow. But UFO fever really began with the sightings of mysterious Foo Fighters during the Second World War. Then in 1947 came the infamous Roswell UFO incident, when a quote-unquote flying disc crashed into a ranch in New Mexico. It was later claimed to have been a weather balloon and then a nuclear test surveillance balloon.
Yeah,
it was followed in 1948 with the Mantell UFO incident, in which a Kentucky Air Force
in the
National
initial
Guard
report, they never
pilot
said it was a
fatally
weather
crashed
balloon. It
his
just said it
plane
was
while in
an
pursuit of an
experimental
unidentified
balloon.
object. In 1950, farmers Paul and Evelyn Trent snapped
Yeah,
photos of a
they should've
UFO near
left the weather
McMinnville,
balloon thing alone.
Oregon,
That got him in
reportedly
trouble.
providing the first hard proof. Since then,
Because
UFO
I brought
sightings
up
have become
test
ever
dummies, and
more
of course,
common.
we found out
In
test dummies came much
2020,
later.
there were
1952,
7,263 reported UFO sightings in the U.S. alone. The increase in sightings could be for a few reasons. The military
We
is
didn't have
flying
jet
more
power
planes
till
and
like at
drones
least
than ever
51
before.
anyway.
More people than ever are actively looking for strange airborne objects. Or maybe extraterrestrial visitors have just become very active recently.
Maybe it's because
Whatever
there's
the reason,
8 billion
modern
people on the
sightings include
planet
some
now.
truly chilling tales.
And just 30 years
The
ago, there
story
was
of
only 2
Betty
billion.
and Barney Hill is one of the
There
most
they are.
famous stories out there, and for good reason. One September evening in 1961, Barney Hill, a World War II vet, was driving home with his wife
Barney.
Betty through New Hampshire when they noticed
This
a
case
strange
gets me
light
in
in
more
the
trouble.
sky behind their car. Barney was also an avid plane watcher, and he didn't recognize the object, so they stopped to look at it through binoculars. That's when he realized that the pancake-shaped object approaching them was no plane. The couple drove off, only for the craft to rapidly descend towards them. When Barney stepped out of the car and looked through the binoculars again, he saw gray humanoids inside the craft. Spooked, he jumped back in the car and tried to drive away. And suddenly, they both woke up 35 miles down the road in their car.
That's not
with
even
dirty
close to
clothes
what
and
happened.
broken watches.
Jesus, man.
Through hypnosis, they purportedly regained
I mean,
their
dude, who
memories of
did
being
this? What is this
abducted
guy's
and
name?
experimented on. The couple
gotta
reported
give
that
credit.
aliens took samples of their
It's
hair
extremely
and nails,
condensed, or
and even
AI did
spoke
it, one
with
or the
them.
other.
Betty later drew a
Oh, we
star
still
map
on
that
the-
she'd seen inside the ship.
It's still on,
The
yeah.
story caused a
No,
sensation
I mean, are we
and
still
may
on the
have
Mojo
influenced
Jojo
later
site?
abduction claims, such as Travis
I
Walton's,
don't know.
whose
Yeah.
tale was famously
That's a lot.
adapted into the film Fire in the
Yeah,
Sky.
that wasn't even close.
One of the most incredible UFO sightings in history was one that went somewhat unreported at the time. In 1966, at a school in Melbourne, Australia, over 300 students and faculty witnessed a large, round silver object fly over their school. The Westfall UFO encounter remains the largest group sighting of a
Real
UFO in
film, man. I
Australia
ain't seen
ever
that in
recorded.
forever.
The object returned for a second flyover, allegedly with 5 planes in pursuit. Some have reported that there were in fact multiple UFOs. This story too is hard to brush off.
Yeah, later on,
Witnesses
they
attest to
said there were like
seeing this
3 of them that
happen in
landed in
broad
a
daylight,
field nearby
a
the
mix of
school,
high
or in a
schoolers
valley,
and
rather.
teachers. But it gets even stranger from there. Afterwards,
Where'd that
many
UFO
students
landed
said
in
that
Africa
men
and
in
took all them
suits
kids from
told
that
them
school?
to never
Yeah,
speak
that
of
one
it
too.
again. A teacher who took photos of the event reportedly had their camera and film confiscated. There have
Yes,
also been claims that 2 students
happened to us
fainted
before.
and that one girl was taken away in an ambulance, never to be seen again. Skeptics have suggested that the object was really a high-altitude balloon used to
Yeah.
monitor radiation. for
Again, with the
British
balloon
nuclear tests.
explanation.
That could explain the government's concern with discretion. But without any photos of the
Discretion.
incident, we'll never know for sure.
Definitely AI,
The
dude.
Westall students are far from the only kids to have seen a UFO either. A few decades after the Westall incident, in 1994, 60 kids at a school in Zimbabwe said
There
they'd
you go.
seen not only a UFO, but
This is
also
another one,
aliens
actually.
with big eyes
Oh.
crawling around outside.
It was 3 or
Another
4.
eerie UFO sighting came from Australian pilot Frederick Valentic. In 1978, Valentic was flying to King Island in Bass Strait with clear skies and little wind.
I remember
Problems
this one.
arose shortly after 7 p.m. when he
Looks like the guy
radioed
caught some
Melbourne
film
Air
on this
Traffic
one,
Control
like
to
60
report that
millimeter
he'd
film.
spotted a strange
What was that?
object flying
I
around him.
believe this guy
He
got some
described
like
it as
7 or 8
shiny
minutes
and
worth of
metallic
16
with
millimeter
strange
film
lights.
of this
He
incident.
reported that the object would approach or somehow remain completely stationary. He felt like it was toying with him. He noted that the object was not any aircraft he'd ever seen. Then things grew dire.
You see how
He
in the
reported that
films
his
they have
engine
to
was
make it
acting
go
strangely.
up and down, left
At
and right. They
7:12
can't make it
Yeah.
fly flat.
metallic
But when
scraping
you was
sounds
watching the
were
video
heard,
he
and his
took, it was
transmission
flying
cut.
flat. It wasn't doing
Frederick
that.
Valentic was
Yeah.
never heard from again. Valentic was not a particularly experienced
I don't
pilot,
think people
and various
understand if you
explanations
tilt
have
the
been
saucer
proposed.
down at
One
say
is that he staged a
Mach 60, you're
disappearance.
going to hit the
Another
planet.
is that he was flying upside down and looking at his own
You're,
lights.
you're
in
not
the
going to have
water.
time to correct,
Or that he
man.
mistook planets for aircraft lights while unwittingly trapped in a graveyard spiral. Or, hey, maybe it was aliens. While some stories are hard to verify, the USS Nimitz encounter stands out because it's not easily disproved. The witnesses of this incident were trained Navy pilots, with one, Commander David Fravor, being a part of the elite Top Gun program. During a routine flight near California in 2004, Fravor and pilot Alex Dietrich reported seeing something churning underwater before rising up out of it. They described the unidentified object as a large white tic-tac with no visible propulsion systems or windows of any kind. They reported that the object maneuvered in ways impossible with current technology, accelerating to incredible speeds, then stopping and turning on a dime. Even more surreal, they managed to capture footage of the object with their infrared camera. The video, named FLIR, was leaked to the public in 2017. It's one of the 3 Pentagon UFO
FLIR is a
videos,
system, not
which
a
also
camera,
includes
not a
the gimbal and GoFast.
It is a system.
These were captured a decade after FLIR by pilots from the USS Theodore Roosevelt. The Navy has since confirmed their stories and said that the footage is real. Skeptics believe that these videos could be optical illusions, the results of the infrared camera.
Good place to stop for a second. So, ladies and gentlemen,
it was Mars at night, reflected off of Venus by the sun.
Yeah, well, let me tell you a little secret. I served on the USS Nimitz, and I was on a couple other carriers doing duty, and I talked to a lot of Navy pilots when I went to the bombing derbies. A lot of Air Force pilots too, because they used to come to the bombing derby. So when you go to the bombing derby, the Air Force sends the best of the best of the best, and the Navy sends the best of the best of the best. Not one pilot that I talked to out there that hadn't seen a UFO. And get this, I wasn't even interested in UFOs at the time. This was something that happened because some guy on one of the test flights said he saw a UFO, and then it just went across the whole. We were in Fallon, Nevada for the bombing derby. Everybody in Fallon was talking about it, so we got to asking questions. So from that point forward, anytime I was with pilots, I'd always ask them, what you seen? And every one of them have seen something, without exception, by the way. When I was stationed at Alvin Callender Field in New Orleans, there's the Marines have an air base there. Navy has an air base. The Air Force and the Army all have an air base there. I was in charge of electronics. I was talking to pilots all the time, helicopter pilots, everybody. Just were like, these things would just come out of nowhere, hang out for a little while. And he said it was so funny because you knew the way they approached it. They weren't really hostile because you could tell by the way they were moving. If they were, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
He said there's no doubt that you knew whatever this was definitely superior to us.
And then there were plenty of stories on both sides of the theaters, the Pacific and the European, and on both sides of the fight, Axis and Allies, that said that they helped them in air fights and dogfights. So there's I don't know if there's any gun camera footage, but some of the fighters on our side I know had gun cameras for sure on the Pacific coast. I know it was in less limited use on the European battlefields, but on the ground, yes, in the air, not so much. But I wonder if they have any footage of the aliens helping us, and I'm sure the Germans had some footage of the aliens helping them during that war. There are stories all over the place of that.
There are stories, but there wasn't really that many Foo Fighters seen over Europe itself, like in the German and English and Italian theaters.
Yeah,
it's not that there wasn't any sighted. There was, but there wasn't like what they seen in the Pacific.
Both of them were over the French Channel, right between England.
Most of them were over water. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So a good bunch of them happened when bombers were flying from England to wherever they were bombing in Germany, over the channel. So you would see it.
French Channel, yes.
Yeah, so they would see them there, but they saw them a lot in the Pacific and Atlantic theaters.
Yeah. Well, there's much more water. It was definitely a water theater.
So what was bothering me about that is what were we bombing? Well, I know we were bombing Japan, but that wasn't until later on. We couldn't even reach Japan at first. I mean, we had to sacrifice a bunch of bombers just to get the first bombs there.
We had to grab a bunch of their islands first so we could, island skip with our bombers and get them there. When do they get there? Like not towards like what, 44, 45, towards the end of it.
So Doolittle and them, I think, did it in the second year of the war. They launched off of
it was 42, but it was a one-off event, and like the entire.
Yeah, it was a one-off event.
Only like 3 planes survived, and they crash landed in China somewhere.
44. Well, 1 second. Hold on, Jay. Let me go check something right quick. I'll be right back, man. Y'all, just hang on.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure 42 is Doolittle's raid. I forget how many bombers they had, but they had to basically gut the carrier, and they could only put the bombers on. There was no other planes or support vehicles with it, except for fuel to get the carriers there. But they also launched early, and they barely made it. Half of them launched their bombs and crashed into the Japanese Sea or the Sea of Japan, and the other half were shot down. And what made it through the flak, either crash landed or were captured on an enemy soil. It's a messed up raid, Doolittle's raid. I wouldn't have done it. I think you're muted, buddy.
I wonder if any of them saw UFOs. But you know what about Doolittle? I remember hearing these guys who survived, which I mean, the majority of them survived. But I remember talking about the Chinese, the ones that were lucky and got caught by the Chinese, or not caught because the Chinese were working with the Americans.
Yes, we were friends. Very good friends.
And yeah, it's a shame that we used to be such good friends. And well, we're not enemies today. You know what's funny and we'll talk about this on Friday, but what's funny about America and China versus America and Russia? Technically, America and Russia has always been enemies. China has not really ever been one of our enemies. Japan was, and we almost annihilated their plant.
Yeah, and they're better friends to us than China actually is.
Well, so y'all know this. Japan holds #1 useless debt in the United States. China holds #2.
Mm-hmm.
That means like credit card debt and stuff like that, and other debt, bonds and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that. It's not about this show. So we're going to go ahead and play some more of these, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit. I just stopped in the Nimitz because that was in 2006, I believe. That was a later event. I was on a Nimitz in 83, 84, 85, 86, 87. Anyway, I think that I'd have to go double check to be 100% sure, but we had one of the presidents come out and visit. That was an interesting experience.
Well, he's fixing to visit Xi Jinping this week, Friday or Saturday, isn't it?
Our president? I don't know.
Yeah, it's this week. I don't know which day, but he's going out there to meet him.
You know, Josh, Trump probably is an alien. You hate the guy, like the guy. He commands everyone's attention. Think about it. You know, we got Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan, all of them, Xi Jinping, Putin. They command the attention, but not like Trump does. Trump commands everyone's attention. Whether you like him or hate him, you're thinking about him. He and Democrats and liberals, he lives in their brain rent free. I mean, that's just a shame. Jesse, no, we're not gonna we don't talk politics on the show unless it's alien related, which we'll mention that in a second. Because so I've heard 3 big dogs over at the White House now talk about some of the stuff that's going to be coming out in these files.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it's life changing.
Yeah.
That's big.
History changing.
I don't think they really care about the history. And matter of fact, if what I was told is true, we're not going to really get the history. We're just going to get they're here, they're doing this, and they're doing that. They're not here to kill us and not here to eat us, not here to help us. They're just here. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what we're going to get. And then we're going to get, well, if they want to meet you, they will come and meet you. We have nothing to do with that. Because saying any more than that makes us, and I've said this a million times to contactees especially, you're never going to get the truth as long as the government can be held liable for military abductions. Or alien abductions for that matter. I mean, as far as an ordinary citizen's concerned, you let an alien race come in their house and take them and their children and their chihuahuas and all sorts of shit.
Well, not like we have any method or means to stop it, even if we wanted to. A, and B, allegedly Eisenhower signed a de facto what do you call it? Exopolitical treaty with said alien organisms, with wording such to the fact that they can abduct X number of Americans per year, given that all those people are documented and told to the government. I think you're muted again. No, you're not. Okay.
No, I was playing with something. They were good with the So Jackie Lee, where are you from, Jackie? Hong Kong? Well, it's just something about the way you word. Well, people from Asia and people from the Middle East sometimes do their vowels differently than Americans do, even Europeans for that matter. You mean a European? I can always tell when I'm talking to a European. Yep. They don't text us the way Americans do. It's
unless you've been to America, it's very difficult to fake our colloquial phrases and euphemisms, if you will.
Yeah, and there's other things like things that gets people and it messes up. I'm talking to this guy the other day. He's telling me all about living in the United States. He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "New Orleans." He said, "Where's that?" And do you really think he's anywhere in the fucking States and hasn't heard of New Orleans? Well, no. Yeah. You know. You could be redneck living out in the middle of Wyoming somewhere and know what the hell New Orleans was. Just like you would know what Paris is or London or any other big international city. But I was kind of like, wow, dude, that doesn't bode well for you. Jesse, we'll talk about that on Friday. Places people like to congregate, different groups. So like if you're certain type of groups like Asians, like particular cities in the United States, Boston, Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles, they like those cities. Maybe it makes them feel more like at home because is there such a thing as a small city in China? Yeah, small city in China is like 1 million people.
That's small. You know.
Yeah, not for the United States. And I mean, New Orleans only got 500,000.
Bigger than Washington, D.C. It's bigger than Baltimore.
You know,
it's not bigger than New York or LA.
That's what I'm saying. So they're in most of their cities over there, like Wuhan had 40 million people in it or something, or 20 million people in it. I mean,
like
most of
most
of their cities are packed full of people. So they may feel more at home. That and those cities I mentioned is where the money is. The movers and shakers live. Boston, Miami, Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why we have so many different diseases and things that are passed around is because we don't have a population problem. We have a population concentration problem. Too many of us are concentrated in too many small areas. Yeah. If we were spread out, I guarantee you there would be less viruses going around.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's going to be a segue for Friday too. We've got a segment coming up on viruses and some information about some projects that were cut and some projects that weren't dealing with that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's all for Friday. Be sure to come by and check it out. We got a lot of news to catch up on.
Oh yeah, a lot going on today even. Yeah.
So let's see, where are we on this lovely video? Jesse, you probably were impregnated by an alien. You know that. It's a good thing I can't curse in the show. You're lucky. I'm just saying, you're lucky I don't curse in the show.
Camera systems, gimbal, and flare filter. But Fravor and others saw the object with their
own eyes. You said flare. You actually said it right.
Harder to explain away. None of these sightings are proof of extraterrestrial visitors, of course. A UFO is simply an unidentified object. These could be technologies hidden away by governments or phenomena that science doesn't yet understand. However, these bizarre stories are real enough for the government to have taken action and investigated. No one knows for sure what the truth is, and many people are quick to dismiss such sightings. But there are plenty of other strange things in the world that once upon a time no one believed were possible.
Where's the gong, man? Don't we got a gong on this thing?
Come on.
What do you think? Is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments. Check out these other clips from Unveiled, and make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for our latest content.
You're lucky I couldn't get to the gong button, people. I'd have gonged your ass with that nasty crap. What do you mean? You want me to tell you the good stuff? I'll tell you something right now, Jesse. If I was to tell you a third of what I actually knew, you would go running screaming into the night.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you half of what I knew, they would probably come kill your ass. The only reason they won't with me is because I've how can I say this? I've earned the I'm not going to say anything thing. Because I'm old now, man. So, and I haven't said anything, and I don't intend to. Well, one, I appreciate having my clearances. Two, one day I might want something for the government, maybe some grants or something. No reason to go there. Besides, to be honest, what I know is not going to help you push swaps. It's just not. There's nothing I know that can stop what is eventually going to happen. It's just, unfortunately, there's nothing any of us can do.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize this sometimes, but when you think about aliens, they may know that something's going to happen to humanity in the future. They may have seen it, or maybe they know a giant asteroid is coming, but maybe they just know that one day we're going to be an extinct species.
Yeah, or near on extinction.
Yeah. So maybe that's the reason they act the way they do around us. You know, it's like dead man walking. If you're watching us on Roku television right now, yeah. So if you want to chat, you can. I don't have Pound Talk open right now, but if you want to chat, you can go into YouTube's or Rumbles or Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Or if you have to, you can message me on my messenger. Yeah. I would prefer if you went into one of the chat rooms, because then I can just put it on the screen. I can do like that.
If it shows up in the StreamYard, we can highlight, intelligent comments and funny comments.
Yeah, or cute people. Either way, I can go either way with that. Jackie, that was Heidi. She's a regular. You mean if we ever get rich, we'll give her a paid job? Who's rich? I'm not rich. Who people lie to you, man? That would be not. I'm worth about 86 cents. Why? Because I don't worry about money. Ask me that on Friday, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I have about a third of a penny and a handful of pocket lint.
You know, it's funny. I used to tell my stepdaughters when they were young, it's just as easy to love a poor man as a rich man. And I tell my friends that who are single, I said, it's just as easy to love a rich woman as a poor woman. Well, in that retrospect, maybe not, because it could be a little more difficult.
Yes.
But no, so there was this guy in my family. His name was Steve. This guy was a professional, not an escort, gigolo, and he was an old guy. I mean, when he was in his 70s, he had these 30-year-old women supporting him. I mean, he was smooth, like suede smooth, like warmed over suede, like somebody had brushed it down and softened it up for you before you even touched it. I was like, he was just smooth, and he knew how to talk to women. He was just, and they were like, it was like they were all puppies, and he was the puppy treat. It was sad, man. It was encouraging, but sad. Oh, he's passed now, Denise, but Steve Bertolina was his name. Yes. He was just 6'2", good looking, silvery, knew how to talk, dressed nice. Yeah, he was all around package. Back when them things were fashionable. Today, you asked me that on Friday too. We'll talk about that. Oh yeah, people today are retards. I thought my generation was a retard. We ain't got nothing on these people. Who did Lost Generation? What are you on, crack? Anyway, moving back to the aliens, for somebody offends me in here with this Lost Generation. Yeah, that must mean you go dye my beard purple or something. Come on. No, Lost Generation like 20 years older than me. There's just so little of that I can talk about. All I can tell you is that I went in, they asked me a bunch of questions. I was hooked up to the polygraph for the voice stress, and they had people that did body language and facial recognition. And I answered like first day 12 hours, second 10, third 8. 30 hours. In a chair hooked up. I didn't even want to leave the first day. I was like, just, I wanted a steak. So, send me a steak. Okay, so originally when I was asked would I go in front of Congress, I said no, because I have a couple of businesses that, well, some of my customers would have not understood. They would have been, you're talking to who about what? Oh no, we don't want to talk to you no more. Not so much my Christian ones.
Yeah, think about if you were an employee though. How would you explain? Hey, boss, I need to go to DC to talk to Congress about what? Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what's funny about all this. That's probably what drove me into being and getting in my own business. This is a funny story, but a long time ago, many moons. So first, I was introduced to UFOs in the Navy. In a couple of ways, it made me think, okay, yeah, maybe there's something to this. Then I get out. Come on, you know, I'm young, rambunctious, wanting to get in trouble. So, and I'm meeting people. So I go to see my dentist one day. I'm like 24 at this time. No, I wasn't even that. I was 22, I think. I go to see my dentist because I was home and off duty. So I went in and seen her. She goes, out of blue, she starts telling me about aliens coming to her house at night and taking her. I thought she was just telling me some story to keep me entertained while she was digging around on my gums.
Ouch.
But yes, but no, she was being serious. So I was like, So we get finished and all, and she's like, you know, you're not taking care of them, blah, blah. She's tearing me up about stuff. And she goes, oh, it was nice that you let me vent and you didn't make me think I was crazy. And she was a friend of my mom, so she knew I wasn't going to be rude. Besides, she was my dentist. You don't be rude to your dentist, buddy. That's like pissing the surgeon off while he's in the middle of cutting things. It's not a place you want to go if you don't have to.
Yeah, or waking up saying, hey, you're digging in the wrong area there, Doc.
So she tells me about this. And then I'm working nights at this convenience store to get my my other degree. And this guy out of the blue comes in, starts telling about something just happened to him down the street. And I'm like, dude, you know, you're nuts. 2 days later, it's in the paper. Some people saw it. And I was like, okay. And then it just, for the next 2 years, it seemed like every other person I bumped into was a fucking contactee. Come on, what is the odds of that? I mean, there's not that many of them to start off with. Especially back then. I mean, there was only 2 billion people on the planet back then. Maybe 3, but still. It was weird. And then I met this crazy woman. And some crazy stuff happened. And I realized there's something to this. And we started investigating. Then wasn't all that long after that. It was maybe 2 years when we lost those 11 days in Opal Beach, Florida. Jack, no, so that's Navarre. So anyway, if you're going into Pensacola from interstate, you're going to go down in 610 and it's going to drop you off in Pensacola. You're going to come out of Pensacola and cross in the Gulf Breeze, where Ed Walters had that UFO that came and took him out of his house and his family. It's also where it landed in the schoolyard. They've got the picture of the thing in the schoolyard and burn marks on the ground. And they weren't exactly burn marks. They were more like just like something had been heated to the point where it changed colors, but not enough to kill it, because it turned back colors. They said 3 or 4 days later it would turn back green. So that was just odd.
Yeah, I think what later was described once, microwaves became more commonplace was that it looked microwaved.
There's a lot of stuff that.
Well, and I think also when in crop circles, I don't know who was doing the research, but a couple of universities, or at least a couple of botanists from a university, I don't know if it was an English university or American, but they discovered that the knuckles, the nodules on the wheat, exhibited the behavior of something that had been microwaved, like when you microwave.
Yeah, they had expulsion cabinets. So we worked with a group of scientists out of Edinburgh on this. And about was in 2002, 2003. I was given a lecture on crop circles and chaos theory. And a friend of mine was really into chaos theory. And I'm like, dude, I just don't. The chaos theory is cool, meaning chaos happens randomly. It just happens, but it can still happen the same way, even though it's chaos, which.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's character in the Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I mean, so they had been working on this. So after a while, I was working with them, and I was working with just some everyday crop circle people. I tried to stay away from the nutters. Jimmy, not divine and rods. Divine and rods are fine. I get a problem with divine and rods, and they do.
Yeah, no, those actually work. I'm convinced of those.
As long as a person has a gift, they work just fine. Yeah, yes. It's for different things, for that matter. But no, when I mean nutters, anyway. We're not going to get into that, but so we found a lot of things. The stalks were bent, not broken. The elbows had expulsion cavities in them, like something had heated them enough so they would bend and then pop like popcorn. Yeah, people, popcorn folds over itself. Or, you would find this, and then you'd find these little white pieces that look like popcorn, actually, and this gelatin. I don't even know what it is. It was. You know what? It reminded me of ballistic gel. Is what it reminded me.
I think what they called it was like liquid cellulose.
It was not. It was thicker than that. Cellulose was a little bit more.
That's what the chemical trace of it was. Maybe it was.
Well, it might have been. It just was more jiggly than wiggly. If that makes any sense. It was a little more solid, but it could be the same thing.
It seemed to be an unnatural substance, but had the DNA of plants. It was just weird. It was weird.
It was weird. It
still is weird. They still find this stuff.
Yeah, but for 3,000 years they had crop circles. So nobody wanted to talk about it.
Yes.
Nobody wanted to talk about that. But people, it wasn't until like 2010 or 12 or 14 when they had a complex crop circle. Meaning every crop circle before that was just that, a crop circle. The ones in the farmers' fields, the ones, and I've always said the same thing when it came to crop circles. They're probably like stop signs. Bob, Joe was here today. Jay, don't step here, did whatever we did. And the way they were placed in the countryside would let you know what was going on. It was like an aerial sign for somebody else.
It could be something even more advanced than that. Like from this waypoint, turn left and
it could be.
Go 10 light years and stop.
Regardless, the crop circle, since they could only really be seen from above, did not seem like they were being left behind for us. Humans wanted to think they were, but they weren't, because the only way you would see a crop circle is if you happened to be standing on a hill. And even then, a lot of them you couldn't see because of the way the crops were. They were too tall for you to see, so you had to come from above.
Well, and two of them had quite impossible to decode things unless you knew binary code. One of them has a picture of like an alien gray face with like a CD or a DVD behind him with dots and spaces, which was like a digital data, which they translated into a bizarre message. And then there was another one that was it was an exact mirror.
Wait, stop for a second. The one he's talking about was actually done by 3 students out of Harvard. They actually took credit for it, but that ain't why they took credit for it. They got busted over something. Give me a second. This was so stupid. So on the CD, there was 2 messages on the CD. One of them though actually had what the fuck what do you call it? The letters for like alpha, beta, gamma, sorority. They actually had their sorority thing on the CD in binary code. So they were. I don't know who busted them. It's some science.
Whoever decoded the
but you got to give them credit. It was a great job.
I hadn't heard that part, but that's fascinating. The other one, I don't think this one's been debunked or proven a fake or a hoax yet. Is the other one that came back is a return and like an exact mirror of the message board we have on, I believe, Voyager 1 and 2 that are heading towards outside of our atmosphere or outside of our solar system.
Yeah.
And it was identical to it, except for the method in which they were sending it was a different type of radar dish. The beings looked different. There was DNA sample that was on ours was different than what was on theirs, and the planets were different. They were in control of. They were in control of 3 planets in the solar system, which is very similar to what the Greys say that they're in control of in their solar system. So, Very fascinating.
All of it's I mean, you don't be sending me no food porn while we live on the air, girl.
Ooh, yeah, not on Friday though. Yeah,
mushroom, Rosetta, shot, and something else. We're just staying out of that. No, it's a little round. Anyway, we're staying away from that. It's we're just staying away. What will I say?
I had a alien jalapeno traveler made my head sweaty.
Sorry. See, this we got to get RAM for this computer, people. Somebody feel sorry for Joe and send him some RAM. Don't make me have to buy. I hate buying stuff on computers anymore. If y'all knew how much money I spent on computers, you would have a heart attack, probably as much as somebody's house.
With all the computers, don't you have a few that are dead that you can, salvage RAM out of?
Well, no, the problem is these are all updated systems. These are further in the future. I've got 3 on the ground right now that run perfect, but I don't have any use for them anymore. They all run Windows 10, but not Windows 11. And then there's a 6-core.
Well, and a lot of people still say they like Windows 10 over 11 anyway.
Well, Windows 10's fine. It's not that. I mean, sooner or later it's going to become a security issue, though.
Yeah.
Because you could use Windows. What was it? Windows X forever, and then they finally forced you to quit using it because it's the best program. But it was the best one they ever made.
Yeah.
You couldn't kill it. You couldn't destroy it. I hated when they got rid of it. And that's the other problem. Anytime they decide to switch over, like when we went through, what was it, Windows 7 and 8 and all them little hybrid versions, man, the audio was different on everyone. You was constantly updating. It was a nightmare for me. I had 16, 18, almost 24 computers back then. That had
everything changed. Hotkeys would change. You get used to one thing. And nowadays, even this new computer I have, the 3-finger salute is dead. You can't go and reboot the computer now with the 3-finger salute anymore.
Well, but you can do it with a 2. I'll have to show you. Oh wait, I don't know. Maybe not. I might be lying. I'll have to double check. But there used to be on your what the hell you call it?
Start button.
No, there's a manager screen. You can use 2 fingers to bring it up. When you bring it up, there's an restart on it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the hell you call it now. No, there's actually task manager. Thank you, Jack. Travis Walton was cool. Travis Walton freaked out when he met me, though. Well, because think about it this way. So Travis is doing his case, all right? He's telling everybody about his case and how this happened. And, by this time, I had actually talked to 3 other witnesses, or 3 the other people. So a gentleman got me an interview with the guy who sort of passed the polygraph, but sort of didn't. He was drunk when we did the interview, which was hilarious. We still had the interview, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. It's somewhere in one of the archives. It's not on YouTube anymore because that YouTube no longer exists. I'm glad to see you safe and home and safe. No, E.T. would rather see us survive. The more people in the universe, the merrier.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why they call it outer space, because there's a lot of it.
There's a lot of it. I did see that, Marco. They thought they found another Dyson sphere. That's like 46 now.
Wow. I thought it was only like 14 or 15 at last count.
I wrote a letter to NASA asking them, can you please explain every time I look here?
Why are these suns? And are they saying novas? They're exploding? I doubt it.
No, they're saying that so originally the original explanation is that there was a body like a half an asteroid belt that would pass in front of the sun every so often, and it would take so long for it to pass because it was such a slow orbit that it would like look like it looked like half the sun had been blocked out for months. But then they realized some of them weren't moving. They were just more and more the sun was going away, like something was being added to it. And there's a couple of them now where, they know the sun's still there because there hasn't been no supernova, but they don't see the sun. And then there's some places where they see this. They see like the sun bright out here and down here, but there's nothing around the middle.
Yeah.
Like there's something surrounding the sun. So Jesse, a Dyson sphere. Okay, two types of Dyson spheres. Might as well do them right. There's one sphere that houses the entire solar system, including the sun. There's another sphere that houses the sun and all the inner side, which is still the same size as the solar system, is just land.
Yeah, it doesn't get the outer planets, just the planets that can contain and
no, there's no planets, no planets.
Just the sun itself.
So you get just the sun and all the sides, all the way around in that thing for as long as it is just
the interior
land.
walls. Yeah.
So it's still the size of your entire solar system, but what you've done is you've taken all the livable part of your solar system and put it inside.
Instead of you being on this side of the planet, you're on this side.
Yes,
on the concave side
means
of it.
that
The sun's in the middle.
1,000% of all energy from the sun is being used, either to produce food or for energy or what have you, but there is nothing escaping.
Everything would be solar. There would be no days. There would be no nights.
Well, I'm sure. Ooh, you know what? I wonder if they got a shade.
You could do something of that effect, yeah.
Or maybe not a shade that comes under the sun, but maybe something that just goes over the land.
Or you could go out just outside of outside the end of where the Goldilocks belt is, build your sphere that big, and then all your planets will still have night and day and 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, when I was listening to scientists the other day, they sound more and more like they want to do the one where there's no planets. Something about they don't want to have to worry about an orbital system inside.
That was actually Star Trek's invention. Dyson's actual sphere was at least out to the asteroid belt, would be the end of our Goldilocks zone.
Yeah. So, but all the original spheres, when you look them up, are not planets. They're just the size of the size of at least half our solar system, with our sun in the center, and then land going all the way around it in all 360 degrees, but still that size. So basically, what you did is you just built a cap the size of
the interior wall to be safe
and
away from the radiation. You'd have to be it'd have to be at least out I think to at least Venus's projection of at orbit, and you would probably, I don't know, how are you going to do weather? I mean, just
climate control. It'll just be climate control.
Have to be, I guess. It's a neat concept, but we're
and you may not see rain and lightning
we're thousands
anymore.
Of years from even contemplating such a construction.
Well, build an actual sphere with the irrigation, all that, we could do that today. Containing a sun, on the other hand,
today we might tackle it in 1,000 years.
But containing a sun, and because first off, it has to be X amount of size between the sun and the land, so it's not barbecuing everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Venus is too close, Mars is too far, but Earth's right there. So if you started at between Earth and Mars and built one that size, going completely around the sun that size, that's something that holds at least 4 planet areas plus all the inner space. So that's the size of like all the planets combined. Yeah. And the bitch part is you'll probably need all the planets to build it. That's probably why they don't put the planets inside, because they probably need all the damn planets material to build something that damn big.
Yeah, that could be possible. All the planets that are dead or is not having viable atmospheres could be used as building materials. Like, for instance, the asteroid belt, for example, would be the ideal.
And Jeffrey, you bring up a good point. Why would you want to put Venus? I mean, not Venus. Why even Venus? Why would you want to put Venus or Jupiter or Saturn in there? Venus, I could see, because Venus could be territory.
Noble gases. We can
but Venus can be terraformed
and explosives.
Jupiter and Saturn. Remember, you'll still have access to these planets. You'll still be in that solar system, sort of. I guess at that point it doesn't matter. You can make your Dyson sphere mobile if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be
giant. At that point, it wouldn't be a Dyson sphere. It would be a Death Star.
Well, no. Let's say giant lasers
moving,
on it.
Of course.
If there's it may not have no killer stuff on it. Well, machine guns or something.
You've got a stun. All you got to do is focus it and go. You can burn a hole in somebody's shirt.
Jesse, the Dyson sphere, as far as humans are concerned, is a fantasy for now.
It's out of our league at this point. I mean, even like I said, even if we started with our basic rudimentary NASA type mentality of getting the guy who bids the least for the job. We put him on it right now. In 1,000 years, we might have a quarter of the sun covered. Maybe.
It's yeah, maybe. Well, so think of it this way, Dean. We're watching these Dyson spheres being built 150,000 light years out. So that means what we're seeing, they might even be done, because that's what we're seeing is 150,000 years old.
Those might be the people that are here visiting.
Yeah, so
we're just seeing the light of their planet going out. It's been out for thousands of years. We're just now seeing it.
You mean here 150,000 years ago we were woolly mammoths, stuff like that? Yeah. Humans were around, but not well. If you go by the history we're taught, if you go by the history we're taught, humans been around for 2 million years, and the last 200,000 years becoming the species we are today. But there's no real proof for that, none. And recently, Jay and I talked about this on a recent show, and we'll talk about it again on Friday. They finally admit, I've been saying this for decades, there's no way you got 8 billion people from 2 parents out of Africa. That's DNA impossibility. There would not be enough pure DNA. You can't replicate DNA like that. It's like a cloning process. Eventually, you're going to start doubling all the good, all the bad, which means you'd have a society full of brilliant and ignorant people with no middle ground at all. And you probably have more of the crazies than the not crazy. So, because Mother Nature seems to err on the crazy side. Yeah, don't ask me why. She just seems to do that for some reason. Well, and as a species, we're evolving now. The Rh negative people are slowly but surely going to push the Rh positive people out. Eventually, yeah. I mean, they started out at 0%. They're at almost 18% now. And that's just in 50,000 years. So since they started at 50,000 years ago, if you add 50,000, they're going to be at like 51, 54%.
It also shows you that we breed like crazy.
Yes, we're gonna breed you Rh positive people out. You got to go. Y'all are bad. You cause wars and shit. You got to go, man. It's just time. Oh, there'll be something around to replace them. Matter of fact, because there are some new blood types out. Technically, there's 8 blood types. Or if you want to
more like blood groups.
So technically, there's 4. There's A, B, and O. That's technically what you got. And then you've got Rh negative, Rh positive. So you have four groups with the 4 subgroups.
A, B, and then what else?
B and O. So you got so just start out with AB first. So people, when we say AB, that's combined AB.
Yeah.
And then there's an A, then there's a B, then there's an O. Yeah. So now that we've got that out the way, and then there's Rh negative and Rh positive, and of course, O negative is a universal donor for 95% of everywhere on this planet can take that O negative plasma. But there are actually about another 20-something blood types, most of which are going to be extinct. Somehow they started, and so the one, she had her mother's blood type, which is an oddball blood type, but she didn't have any children, and she's getting ready to die, so that blood type is gone. Then there's a few other ones, but they're not really, they can't back breed with the common bloods.
They're very much like the book Dune and the quasi nun religious sect, if you will, called the Bene Gesserit.
Yes.
A group of all women that have weird rituals, strange powers, and control. They can control minds with certain vocal powers. But on top of that, they have a breeding program where they direct through secret plots and stuff the genetic breeding of noble people in the universe. It's very strange.
Let's see if I can find this.
Hey, Joe, you know what they say about fiction?
It's for junkies.
No, that truth is stranger than it.
In some cases, it is. That's the bad part.
Yes.
Some cases, it is.
Yes, indeed.
I'm actually looking for something if I can find it. Oh, I don't know how I got it in here. Let me see. Let's see. Let me 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 see. Yes, I have seen many of those. So I did the original ones.
Seen many of which?
I'm sorry. So I did the original O negative stuff. That was all me. Let me rephrase.
Yeah,
it was all iCar. It wasn't all me, but
A plus,
I was
B plus, B
so.
minus,
But anyway,
B minus, O plus, O minus. Cool.
All those vids, all those talks were all me, and then finally, I noticed I went on Coast to Coast, and Coast started making them. They made one with me, I guess, to stay on my good side, and then they made a couple with other people talking about what I was talking about on the show that night. And I also noted Ancient Aliens did the same thing. What do you mean?
Well,
in the third video, they didn't use me because the people they use are more famous.
I like going to the ER because my hemoglobins are based on copper. So if they don't know, if the nurse doesn't know me, when they first draw blood, they always faint because it's green.
So he's a Vulcan man. He's a Vulcan man, yeah.
But yeah, they got the salute wrong. It's actually like that. That's the actual.
Let's see if it's on here. No, Jesse, there's a lot of good material out there on it. Well, first off, RH negative people are different than RH plus people. They have different attitudes, different types, different. They look at the world differently. Not completely, but it's just a lot of differences between the two, which no one thought was possible.
I'd say it's more. I think it's more like prescient vision, which is to say, foreknowledge of the future.
It's just it's like the RH negative is the new world and RH positive is the old world. Look at Europe. Europe is how many thousands of years old? Look at the Middle East, how many thousands of years old? None of them got anywhere until the new world started. Almost all of the really great inventions that happened in the last.
About it, there was no global unity until the northern continent, the North American continent, was settled by a brand new government.
But it's not. But it's not even that. It's the inventions. When you look at so just to put you in perspective, people, 95% of all inventions, everything that's happened on this planet, has happened in the last 115 years.
The advanced stuff, yes, but I have to say this: there a whole lot of luck is on our part. We built a ship called the Constitution, is now known as the Old Ironsides. It's the same exact technology, shipbuilding technology, that the British used, with which we use that boat against, or rather that ship. It's a ship. It's a sailing vessel. It's huge. I've seen it. I've been on it. It's an enormous thing. But it's small compared to our modern Navy. But if you see this thing, you'll love it. It's great. But it's the oldest currently officially commissioned U.S. naval vessel. It's still commissioned. I think it's in port in either Boston or Baltimore somewhere. But the British literally shot 9-pound cannons at it, and their bullets, their cannonballs just bounced off the side, and then we destroyed their navy with it. That's a simple technology that we built that was superior to the people who were trying to stop us. That just says one thing. It's not just ingenuity. It's just our ethic of putting stuff together.
Ow, sorry. Right as you was finishing up, something decided to pop on and start blabbing in my ear.
Ooh, ouch.
I don't know what that was about.
Oh, the dog's still outside. Damn it, I got to go get him in a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll be fine for 20 minutes.
Well, O negative is RH negative is just different. It's just what it comes down to. And you have to remember, people always want to try to put this on Mother Nature or the planet, but RH negative is a baby killer. It causes stillbirth because the positive gene wants to dominate the negative gene and kill it.
That's
so Mother Nature wouldn't create it.
Well, nobody knows about it unless you were old enough to then. But you had to get a test to make sure that the mother and father are compatible, so that you wouldn't have stillbirths.
Well, yeah, you'd have to go get a blood test, so that would tell you if you could have babies or not. I had to get one when I got married. Yes.
No, and they also eventually came up with vaccines that canceled it. So
yeah, If I remember right, it's the anidinogen D gene. And some Australian guy had this gene, and thanks to it, RH negative people can have kids now. No need for no testing, no nothing, just a shot.
Don't have to kill no rabbits no more.
Actually, my son is O positive, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, he was no, I'm actually O negative.
I believe I'm O positive because anytime anyone goes Oreos, I go O positive, and I take some. There's a really good yummy cookies.
And I'm wondering. The Reese's macaque.
From where we get the Reese's name, Reese's macaque. There's several versions or several different varieties of macaques. The Japanese macaque, I think, is the largest of the varieties. And there are winter species too, by the way, Japanese macaques.
Yeah, well, they, because that's what the RS is, the Reese's. I mean, the RH is from the macaque, from the monkey, but she was trying to say that the RH negative has it, but the study says it doesn't. That it doesn't have monkey gene. Don't look
Well,
at
they got the name they derived the name for some reason, and I think it has to do with the monkey gene. But why they're trying to hide that, what the hell does that mean? Well, I mean, you keep saying, when did it come around? It's like only 40, 50,000 years it's been in the genetic structure.
Let's see something. Let's see, people. I don't know how long this clip is. It's only 5 minutes, so maybe we'll play it. This ain't the one I wanted, but where are we? There we are. I had to find Jay and I.
Yep.
I'm actually on one of these. I don't think this is the one I'm on, but I don't know. There's a couple of these from Ancient Aliens and from Discovery and from Coast to Coast that I'm on. So we'll find out. Hold on, give me a second.
As soon as you get it, throw it up.
Okay, share the screen. And away we go.
It is hit the arrows.
Receiving Rh positive blood may be fatal, as the body will try to destroy the foreign organs. And for women that are Rh negative, mating with an Rh positive partner could be detrimental to the fetus.
If a rhesus positive and a rhesus negative parents were to have an offspring, there is a potential danger to the offspring because these two blood types can't interbreed, basically. Medical intervention is needed. It's why, actually, in the past, people had to have a blood test before they were allowed to get married.
The very fact that an Rh negative mother, her body would actually try to kill.
Is it?
You can see how ufology is. Everybody had to cash in.
Bizarre scenarios.
It is Nick Redfern.
It's happened. It suggests somewhere in our lineage that the Rh negatives and the Rh positives are perceived as being profoundly different. And also, studies of Rh negatives suggest that they have lower than normal blood pressure, lower than normal pulse. In a number of cases, they have an extra vertebra in their back.
Rh negative is very rare. Most of the world didn't have it until colonization started in the 15th century. Rh negative didn't exist in the Americas, that it didn't exist in Southern Africa, it didn't exist in Asia. It was only in Europe, so it spread out from there. Out of Africa, that theory has it that all human beings originated in Africa, Southern Africa, Sub-Sahara. They're all Rh positive. They don't have any Rh negative. Where did Rh negative evolve then?
Australia?
15% of the humans have Rh negative blood. 15%. And scientists have no idea where it came from. What they do believe is that if you have that, you may have been evolved from a different kind of species on this planet. Now, was that species put here, genetically altered, or was it just a natural formation of the planet in its evolutionary stage? Who knows? But the fact is that Rh negative people, and again, there's 15% of them on this planet, may have come from outside sources.
Could the Rh negative blood type offer evidence of a vastly different pre-human evolution than what we are led to believe in our history books? Might it offer indisputable proof of extraterrestrial intervention in the remote past? But if so, is the experimentation with intelligent hominin over, or is it still taking place?
It'll be over when there ain't no more positives.
Yeah, it's an ongoing. All the as you say, you say that it's coming. It's their experiment is coming to a conclusion.
Jack, I don't want to kill off all of the Rh positives. A lot of my friends and family are Rh positive. No, that's not what I was saying. Don't go get my. Yeah, see that. I'm looking for a particular one of these that I don't see. I don't know where it's at. It's being hid now in something. Usually it's on one of these, but no telling where I put it. No effing telling. Oh, look at the chihuahua, man.
Mm-hmm.
Battle against censorship. Oh, Ethereal. Hey, Ethereal. What are you doing live right now, Ethereal? You're not supposed to be live. You better get your ass off the air. Where is this thing? Usually it's in one of these files here, but and it's a good thing I don't look at porn and people get to see all the stuff I look at. And no, I don't look at Vogue, so don't even bother asking. Oh, I do look at Chihuahua also. And I love Rita. Rita is hot, baby. Every type of alien explained. Oh,
what?
Okay.
Oh, that's got to be intelligent. Let's listen to that for a few minutes.
Let's go see.
I'll bet you it's AI driven.
The Greys. The Greys are the face of alien contact in modern human consciousness, and their appearance has remained disturbingly consistent across thousands of reported encounters spanning 7 decades. Standing roughly 3.5 to 4.5 feet tall, they possess disproportionately large heads with smooth gray skin that appears almost translucent under certain lighting conditions. Their most distinctive feature is their eyes, massive black almond-shaped voids that occupy nearly a third of their skull, with no visible iris, pupil, or white.
Untrue.
Witnesses describe these eyes as completely emotionless, yet somehow intensely observing, absorbing every detail with an intelligence that feels both advanced and utterly alien to human experience.
Of course.
The Greys possess virtually no nose, only small nostril slits, and their mouths are typically...
Okay, well, first off, people, those big black almond things, those are patches that's so they can see. I think part of it is to protect their eyes from the light on Earth.
A and B, it's essentially their contact lenses with advanced AI heads-up display, if you will. They can access computer information. Now, probably if they're unable to send telepathic, I guarantee you they're able to send electronic and digital messages to their friends and allies.
Described as thin lines that rarely open and never speak, communicating instead through direct telepathic projection into the minds of the suggests either a genuine phenomenon or the most successful mass psychological imprint in human history. The reptilians. The reptilians exist at the intersection of ancient mythology and modern conspiracy, described as a humanoid species with distinctly reptilian features that allegedly operates in the shadows of human civilization and has done so for thousands of years. Standing between 6 and 8 feet tall, they possess scaly skin in shades of green, brown, or occasionally gold, with vertical slit pupils identical to those of Earth's reptiles. Their faces combine human and serpentine characteristics, with prominent brow ridges, sharp angular cheekbones, and mouths that can unhinge slightly wider than human anatomy allows, revealing rows of sharp pointed teeth. Some accounts describe them as possessing small ridges or crests along their skulls and spines, while others report completely smooth, scaled
Yes,
heads.
that has to do with male,
Unlike the
female,
Greys,
how
reptilians
old,
are described as
how much in
physically
charge
powerful,
they are.
muscular, and aggressive,
and
with some witnesses claiming they possess the ability to shapeshift or project holographic disguises to move undetected among
Which is
humans.
That's the
more
third thing I heard
The modern
from him that
reptilian
came from
hypothesis was
iCar.
popularized in the 1990s by conspiracy theorists who claim these beings occupy positions of power within governments, corporations, and religious institutions, secretly manipulating human affairs toward unknown ends. However, the concept of reptilian humanoids appears much earlier in human mythology,
his accent
from the
change?
Naga serpent beings of Hindu and Buddhist tradition, dating back over 2,000
You notice?
years, to the dragon
that's 'cause
kings
we're
of
where we're
Chinese
at now.
folklore, to the serpent in the Garden of Eden itself. Accounts describe reptilians as cold-blooded in both physiology and
Also
temperament,
untrue.
operating with ruthless logic and viewing humans as either resources
be
to be
possible.
exploited or livestock to be managed. Unlike the Greys, who are reported as emotionless but not malicious, reptilians are consistently described as deliberately hostile, supremacist, and contemptuous of human life.
Supremacist? You mean
Whether they
supremacist?
represent
Come on, it's AI talking.
Okay, first off, people, just to help y'all out with this, the reptilians are probably the closest to us out of all the species that visit here, or we're the closest to them. We act more like
some of them are also not telepathic.
Yes, we the way they run their society, they believe in family, and the reptilians consider us family because the reptilians have genetic memory. So,
And or if not that, we're of at least an accepted and usable caste member of their lineage.
Yeah. The Greys consider us pets, and the humans consider us like distant trash cousins. With every now and again, they're like one or two people, but for the most part, they don't even like him. Yeah, they don't even like humans. So you kind of like, what the hell, man?
Mental destruction and humanity.
Oh, and on a side note, people, go back and look at history. You'll see from the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, the Sumerians, the Mesoamericans, all thought the reptilians were actually good and the bearers of life and brought good things. So you might want to check into that. Not sure where this guy is getting his shit from, but hey, that's why we're here to correct stuff.
His need for spiritual evolution. The first major Nordic contact case occurred in 1952 when George Adamski claimed to have met a being named Orthon in the California desert who warned him about atomic testing, a case that established the template for hundreds of subsequent Nordic encounters. The disturbing element is not their message but their appearance, because if an advanced extraterrestrial species coincidentally evolved to look exactly like idealized humans, the statistical improbability approaches impossibility. This has led to several competing theories. Some researchers suggest Nordics are actually human, either time travelers from our future or survivors of an advanced ancient civilization. Others propose they are deliberately mimicking human appearance to ease contact anxiety. The darkest interpretation suggests they are neither benevolent nor alien, but psychological operations conducted by human intelligence agencies, using perfectly ordinary tall blonde individuals to discredit genuine alien contact, dominated by large, multifaceted compound eyes that curve around the sides of their skulls. Their mouths consist of complex mandibles that move independently, and some reports describe them possessing additional smaller limbs or appendages near their upper torso. Most distinctively, insectoids move with insect-like jerking motions, sudden and angular rather than fluid, as if their neurology operates on fundamentally different timing than mammalian movement. Witnesses describe them as completely silent, communicating through what abductees interpret as hive mind broadcasts rather than individual telepathy.
Oops, wrong button.
Experiencing insectoids as overseers or supervisors directing the Grey's medical procedures. The horror of insectoid encounters stems not from hostility, but from their complete incomprehensibility. Beings whose consciousness is so alien that communication feels less like conversation, but more like being processed by a vast, indifferent intelligence that regards individual humans with chalk white skin, large blue eyes, and nearly translucent white blonde hair. They age in reverse of human appearance, with their young looking elderly, and their elderly developing an almost luminescent quality to their skin. Hall described them as possessing exceptionally fragile bones that shatter easily, requiring them to wear protective aluminized suits when interacting with humans whose casual touch could seriously injure them. Despite this physical vulnerability, tall whites are described as having extremely volatile temperaments, capable of killing humans with handheld energy weapons if startled or disrespected, and Hall claimed that several military personnel died in accidental confrontations with them. According to his account, tall whites have maintained a formal diplomatic relationship with elements of the U.S. military since at least the 1950s, providing limited technological assistance in exchange for permission to use remote desert facilities for purposes Hall was never fully briefed on. They live in underground facilities, speak English fluently, and apparently find humans both useful and primitively amusing, treating military personnel the way we might treat clever but unpredictable animals. The tall whites reportedly have a longer lifespan than humans, with Hall estimating individuals could live 600 to 800 years. And they maintain family structures recognizable to humans, traveling with spouses and children. What separates tall white accounts from other alien types is the mundane specificity, Hall's descriptions of their daily routines, their preferences for certain foods, their frustration with human incompetence, their concern for their children's safety around humans, details that suggest either genuine observation or an extraordinarily elaborate fiction.
Dr. Marty, what table scraps can I feed my cat?
Let's start with eggs and cottage cheese. Little bites of egg are great for cats. They're full of protein and omega-3s. Just make sure they're plain and skip the salt.
The blue avians. The blue avians represent the most recent addition, and certain human secret space program personnel in service to others are the aliens of the Zeta Reticuli system, and if the leaked documents known as the Serpo material are genuine, they represent the only confirmed case of human astronauts living on an alien planet for an extended period. Described as similar to greys but slightly taller at around 5 feet, with beige or tan skin rather than gray, and slightly more proportional heads, the Abens allegedly made formal diplomatic contact with the United States government following the Roswell, were described as an entirely peaceful species. Eben technology as based on principles of consciousness interaction with matter, and Eben history revealed they had visited Earth for thousands of years, observing human development and occasionally intervening in subtle ways. The Serpo material is either one of the most significant disclosures in human history or an elaborate disinformation campaign, and no definitive evidence has emerged to confirm or refute it. What makes the Ebens conceptually significant is they represent first contact not as invasion, abduction, or spiritual awakening, but as actual diplomatic exchange between civilizations, with all the mundane complications that implies. The Anunnaki. The Anunnaki
Whoops, hit the wrong button.
To Earth, and in original Sumerian cosmology, they were deities associated with the earth and underworld, subordinate to the sky god Anu. In tablets like the Atrahasis and Enuma Elish, dating back over 4,000 years, the Anunnaki are described as creating humans to serve as workers, mining gold and performing labor the Anunnaki themselves refuse to do. Modern ancient astronaut interpretations, particularly those popularized by Zecharia Sitchin beginning in the 1970s, propose that these texts are not mythology, but historical records of extraterrestrial contact, with the Anunnaki described as a race of tall humanoid beings from a planet called Nibiru, who genetically modified early hominids to create modern humans as a slave species. According to these interpretations, the Anunnaki required gold for atmospheric purposes on their home planet, established mining operations on Earth approximately 450,000 years ago, and when their workforce of lesser Anunnaki rebelled, they created humans through genetic manipulation to replace them. Various researchers claim the Anunnaki established themselves as the gods of ancient civilizations, with Sumerian deities like Enlil, Enki, and Inanna actually being individual Anunnaki commanders and scientists. They allegedly departed Earth following a catastrophic flood, but promised to return, and some conspiracy theories suggest they have already returned and operate through secret societies and bloodline families that descend from Anunnaki human hybrids. Academic scholars categorically reject the ancient astronaut interpretation, pointing to mistranslations, misunderstandings of Sumerian grammar, and the absence of any archaeological evidence of advanced technology in ancient Mesopotamia. Yet the question remains disturbing. If the Anunnaki were simply mythological gods, Why are their descriptions so specific, so technological, so focused on genetics, mining, and engineering, rather than abstract spiritual concepts? The small grays, or Zeta Reticulans.
No, another Zeta? Okay, people. Anyway, we're getting past our time, but let me get back over here.
That was pretty fascinating, if somewhat misinformed.
Well, and next week we'll finish off the list. Yeah, y'all can. Well, because they're like with the human aliens, the 3 of them he mentioned are all the same race. Same thing with the Greys. They're all like 4 or 5 of them. They're all the same species. Yeah, because they're trying to make it like there's way more than what there is.
There are, if you want to call it the Zeta Reticulans or the Greys, there are 3. They have 3 distinct forms. There are also 3 other races that are similar to, but not Zeta Reticulans. And then
it's not even the Zetas are not even Zeta. The Greys. That's the problem with all of this. Is according to the Greys themselves, they're not even from this side of the damn galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
They're from the other side of the galaxy. So anything over here, everything over here is colonies.
They're basically the Borg.
And they're not the only ones. When you talk about the Zetas, they're talking about colonies. They're not talking about homeworlds. When they're talking about where the reptilians are from, the Dogon and all them, those are also colonies. They're not homeworlds. People forget these races are 150 million, 500 million, 700 million years old. They've been colonizing for a long time. They're a long ways from their homeworlds. And I would bet you money, in most cases, there is no word in our language for their homeworld because they probably never use it. In the Rebrew, well, y'all can say what you want about in the Rebrew. We've got 6,000 years of astrology. And there's no new Rebrew. Sorry, guys.
Unless Nibiru was what the asteroid belt is now.
And that's probably what it was. The 5th planet was what was in the Rebrew. See, what bothers me is when they say that they came here for gold. Well, the solar system is full of gold. And much easier places to get it than from here.
Yes.
I mean, you could have used lasers in space and mined it out the asteroid belt and just.
They more than likely were mining for fissionable material to. I mean, if you want to strengthen your atmosphere, I would think very thick radioactive gases would be the quickest way to do that. But I don't think that was what they were doing. I think Sitchin got a lot of it wrong. I know he got the name wrong because Ancient Aliens, the guy with the hair, all of them get that name translated wrong. Anunnaki does not mean those who from the heavens came upon the earth. Nowhere in any of the Sumerian databases, language databases that I searched for months, said anything like that. It's a combination of 2 words, Naki and Anu. Naki is like their word for nativity or generation. And Anu was the chief god. His sons were Enlil and Enki. And the 2 words together really translated in every database I ever searched as being of the sons of Anu, or of the origin of the sons of Anu. And I think that's more the correct thing, is the story of the sons of Anu, Enlil and Enki. And that's what the Atrahasis is, and that's what the Enuma Elish is, and then it's also the story of us.
Yeah, so anyway, and we're getting ready to get out of here. Well, at least they got part of the story right, people. Well, they didn't want to take in. There's a lot of things when they talk they don't take in consideration. Like Zechariah never realized that a planet 5 times the size of Earth would have crushed us if it even got close to us.
Yes.
It would have caused massive floods, probably crushed the moon.
Something did, however, crush the 5th planet and knocked the atmosphere and the water off of Mars and tilted the planet Earth.
So the water part
deposited the planet Venus here from another solar system because it rotates counterclockwise or opposite to all the other planets and the sun.
But it could have still been here. It could have just been hit when it was formed.
If it would have been hit, it would be off axis. It's not off axis.
No. If it was hit like this, just like a basketball. Just like a basketball. If you hit the basketball on the left side, it's going to spin this way. You hit it on the right side, it's going to spin that way. It won't have to tilt unless you hit it on an angle. I mean, it just.
Maybe we should get Neil deGrasse Tyson on and see if we can answer that question because he's a space scientist.
actually Michio Kaku talked about it because we talked about the stepping stone theory and being one of the planets, Venus, as one of the stepping stone planets, because it's one of the planets that can probably be terraformed.
Yes.
Because because one, it has the stuff we need. A lot of the minerals and fuels and gases are already on the planet. Biggest problem for Venus is cooling it down, and there are shortcuts to do
Well,
it.
and the pressure too. The air pressure is such that, I mean, metals. It's just the metals will melt under the pressure. It's not the heat. It's the air pressure. It's enough to melt steel.
So what you do is you fly out to the asteroid. I mean, to the Oort cloud. You grab a ice rock about the size of Pluto, and you send that son of a bitch flying into Venus. It does several things. One, it cools the planet down quite considerably.
Or you could simply just dangle it from a spaceship into the atmosphere so it melts and cools from the top down. Yeah.
The best way to do it, though, is to build a long tube from Venus to Mars and take all that gas off of Venus and put some of it on Mars and split it in half.
Well, I mean, you could probably siphon it, you know.
Well, same thing with Mars, Jess. We can't live. So on Mars we have to have oxygen, but we also have to have a pressure suit because our body the pressure is different on Mars.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we will implode. Our bodies implode slowly and painfully too, I think.
So what they can do on Mars is by melting the ice caps, or better yet, by just burning carbon, dirt, basically.
An example of the movie Total Recall, there was like an ice core, and they started melting that, and that created the atmosphere for them to no longer require domes and oxygen.
Yeah, they probably, they probably got that much ice on Mars, but no way you can get to it all at one time. But
yeah,
the goal is, and it's still the goal. They want to send these giant machines, they're just big buckets that pick up dirt and dump it in a thing, and they burn it. And they keep doing it nonstop. They're just rolling along, scooping up dirt and burning it. And when they find materials or stuff like that, they call it in, and people can come out and find, because it's going to uncover a lot of material on the planet. Plus, NASA now seems to think the majority of water is still on Mars. They don't think Mars lost its water. They think it froze. They think whatever happened so fast that the water didn't have time to escape before it froze. Because they're pretty sure in some places it's miles deep. It was like, well, don't get me wrong. I always knew there was a lot of ice on Mars and a lot of liquid water because of the north and southern poles. And we knew there was some that was definitely probably covered, like permafrost, covered with dirt or whatever.
Right.
Come to find out, it seems to be a lot of it. They actually think on Mars, almost the whole planet was covered by water back 55 million years ago, or billion, whatever it was, 5 billion years ago, or 500 million years ago, whatever it was. They think that there wasn't all that much surface land, just where there was mountains and hills, and then there was like really shallow water lakes.
Well, we also know of at least one microorganism, the tardigrade, that can live in those conditions. So if it stands to logic, if we know of one, there must be millions more different types of creatures. Otherwise, the panspermia concept does not work. Period.
Well, NASA has no doubt they're going to find life on Mars. That's a big change from what it was just 20 years ago. I've never had any doubt that they were going to find life on Mars because there's liquid. Because Mars has all the building blocks of life. It has an atmosphere. It has heat. It has liquid water. And it has a place to contain it all. We don't know what's underground on Mars. How much water is down there that's liquefied. We don't even know if there's how much heat is coming from the core. Because the core is supposed to be crystallized. It's supposed to be a crystal core. I don't know. There's a lot of argument on that kind of stuff, but now we got to go because Michelle is probably now on air, and you see that weird smile she's got on her face right here, man.
Her promos are starting right now.
Michelle de Roche. She is the station manager. Yes, extraordinaire. Oh wait, what's this? Is this on stage?
Looks like my dog Admiral.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. I hope you enjoyed the show. Of course, any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints.
On the edge of the neighborhood to chase down squirrels and frisbees and be the best boys we could. My buddy Max the bulldog found the best stick on the ground, but some poodle with a muddy paw started splashing all around. Mud on the collar, water from the sky. Mud on the collar.
Anyway, guys and girls, we got to get out of here.
All the instruments are purple. I like it.
It's that's actually the song itself is "Fire in the Sky" by Deep Purple, but that's not quite the lyrics.
It's Deep Puppy.
Yes, Deep Puppy. But we got to go. The archives will be up later this evening, so y'all can come by and check them out. Of course, again, like I said, any moans, groans, bitches, complaints, or gripes, feel free to write to Michelle DeRoche. She always loves hearing from y'all. She loves when she gets those things. Can you please fire Joe? She gets a big kick out of those.
Those are the best ones, yeah.
She does. She gets a big kick out. But anyway, we got to go. She is on and live right now. She's got a good guest on tonight. We want to cut into the time. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. And until Friday night, have some fun. Remember, it's hardcore news Friday night. No playing around with UFO stuff. You never know. We throw something in.
Unless something breaks.
Yes. But this night, there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. And I can't wait to talk about Uncle Obama and, well, Colbert having a discussion where Obama says that Colbert would make a good president. I got to hear that for myself. I just have to hear that. Anyway, on that note, again, thanks for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. Jay says bye. I say bye. Be sure to come by and check us out. Be sure to catch Jeffrey on Friday night because he's back to being a good person again.
And I do believe these will be the last 2 or 3. I think it's the last 2 left of Wham, who will be leaving the show soon.
Yes, Wham is retiring. And wham, 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 wham. Y'all ever see that TV show where it goes wham, 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 wham? That's Wham, buddy. She will wham you in the head before you even know what the hell's going on. But again, on that note, I want to thank y'all again for tuning in, and we will see you Friday night. Have some fun until then. If y'all need anything, I'll be around. I'm working on TV stuff for the next couple of days. So go hang out and see what Michelle's up to, and we'll see you Friday. Good night, everybody. Oh, we can do that. Hey, what's happening out there, ladies?